Welcome, Wildcats! Happy Tuesday! Today, I want to read you another Clifford book. Now, I believe it was last week we read Clifford's Good Deeds. Well, that was when Clifford is already a really big dog. But today, we're going to read a Clifford book when he is still a tiny little puppy that is so small, not a big dog yet. And today, it is going to be an apple picking day for Clifford and his family. You ready? Let's see what they're up to. Clifford, fall is finally here, said Emily Elizabeth. Emily Elizabeth liked the way the crisp air smelled. She also liked the way the leaves turned from green to red and gold. But most of all, Emily Elizabeth liked fall because it was apple picking season. Now let's pause real quick. Right now, Emily Elizabeth and Clifford, they're in the fall season in the story. That means maybe about October or November, but for us, in reality, we're still in May, and that is not quite fall season yet. We're still in kind of like the spring, almost summer season, which is also a really cool season too, if you ask me. Alright, let's continue. Clifford, are you ready to go to the apple orchard? Asked Emily Elizabeth. Clifford didn't know what an orchard was, but he knew he liked apples. Now, maybe, like Clifford, you also don't know what an orchard is. An apple orchard is basically where people plant apple trees and grow apples, and that is where you can go to pick apples. It's really fun, actually. I've been there a few times too. Welcome to Addie's apple orchard, said a friendly woman. I'm Addie, and who might you be? I am Emily Elizabeth, and this is Clifford, Emily Elizabeth answered. Well, everybody, said Addie, hop on. The orchard's just a short hayride away. Now, a hayride is literally what it is. A ride with, well, a bed of hay at the back, and you just sit on top of the bed of hay. It's kind of like an apple orchard thing. If you go there, it's a pretty fun thing to do. Just like what they're doing, sitting on a bed of hay while the apple farmer, Addie, is pulling the bed of hay with his tractor. Look, Emily Elizabeth, said Mr. Howard. That pumpkin is as big as you are. Have you ever seen pumpkin this big that is about as big as you are? I've seen some pretty big pumpkins, and they can be as big as children. And that one is tiny like Clifford, Emily Elizabeth said with a smile. Alright, the story continues. Thanks for the ride, Addie, said Emily Elizabeth. I can't wait to pick the perfect apple. Have fun, called Addie. So Emily Elizabeth has in mind to find the perfect apple that is faultless and is just good in every way. Is she going to find it? Clifford wanted to pick apples, but he was too small. He jumped once, he jumped twice, but he still couldn't reach. Ever felt that way? When you're just short enough and you can't really reach whatever you want to reach. Don't worry, that still happens to Dr. Chan sometimes. If I could just reach this one, said Emily Elizabeth. All her reaching made a loose apple fall to the ground. Woof, woof, barked Clifford. That's not the perfect apple, Clifford, said Emily Elizabeth. It's bruised. It looks pretty good to me, thought Clifford. Now remember, Clifford can't talk because he's a dog, but he was still thinking, I don't know, Emily Elizabeth. The one that fell to the ground looks pretty good to me. Clifford is probably getting hungry. Oh, cried Emily Elizabeth. This one might be perfect. When Emily Elizabeth reached into the branches, a few more loose apples fell to the ground. Clifford sniffed the apples. They smelled sweet. He pushed all the fallen apples into a pile. What is he going to do with that? Well, what have we got here? Asked Addie. Looks like Clifford has been busy, Emily Elizabeth said, giggling. But those apples are bruised. Now let's pause real quick. What is probably going on here is when they're taking all the apples that they have picked in the basket and they're going to the apple farmers to pay for them. Well, do you think they're going to pay for Clifford's apple piles too? Well, the bruised ones are so sweet, said Addie. They'll be perfect for making cider. So yes, the bruised apples, they may not be looking the greatest, but they're actually very good for making apple cider, which is really yummy. Thanks for a great day, Addie, said Mr. Howard. You are welcome, Addie replied, but I should be the one saying thank you to Clifford. He found me the most perfect cider apples. Remember those bruised ones that don't look so good? They're perfect for apple cider. I hope you enjoyed this pie, said Addie. It's made with apples from my orchard. Clifford wagged his tail happily. I love apple pies. Emily Elizabeth, did you ever find that one perfect apple? Asked Addie. No, answered Emily Elizabeth, but I found a whole pie full of perfect apples right here. So, girls and boys, what can we learn from this story? Emily Elizabeth had in mind it was her mission to find the perfect looking apple. She didn't really find one, even till the end of the story, but what she ended up finding was a pie full of perfect apples that may be not perfect for looks, but perfect for eating, right here. So, sometimes maybe some things don't look the greatest, but they can still be perfect for eating and enjoyed. So, I hope you liked today's Clifford story, and come back tomorrow and I'll read you another book. Alright, see you later. Have a great day.